Right, hope everyone's right. Just doing this weird, peculiar video for you. It's not going to be a nice video. To be honest, I'm not sure why I'm even doing it, to be honest. But I suppose if I tell people this story and someone recognised it, then at least you might be able to do something yourself. So at the minute, Bella is really ill. Like, deathly ill, I suppose. At one point we'd already thought we'd lost her. So I'll tell you the story. So she's 13 at the minute. She's getting fairly old. She's getting fairly slow anyway. And she was putting on a fair bit of weight. And her legs was getting a bit kind of, how would you describe it, wobbly. And like she was putting on a fair bit of weight. Oh, her belly was a little bit hard, but I thought, you know, Sky's always had a hard belly. And I always thought, oh, she's got a hard belly. To just, you know, both got hard bellies. But her belly was getting quite fat. Not in anywhere particular, but the entire thing. Like she was putting on weight. And then one morning, one of the dogs had peed in the house. And it looked like it had blood in it. So Marinda put some tissue in it and it had blood in it. But we didn't know which dog had done it. So we had to try and watch them and see who had done it. Well, we didn't find out until the next day that she called me back and Bella went in the garden and I watched her pee and she was peeing by then pure blood. Well, it looked like pure blood anyway. Dark, you know. And she was very weak. So she came back in and she sat on the sofa. Just wouldn't really move or anything. So, got my brother John to help me. We put her in a blanket, carried her out to the car, took her to the vets. Got her to the vets and the vet was prodding and poking her abdomen. And said, I think I know what it is. I'll be back in a minute, I've got to get something. Run off, come back with an injection needle. So stuck an injection needle in her guts and drew out blood from her abdomen. So in her insides was blood. Like in her, well, whatever, in her abdomen. And she said, this could be, I think it's a splenic mass. Or something like that. Like a tumour on your spleen. And she said what happens, it'll grow absolutely massive, fill up the entire dog's body. If they get too big, they split and just rupture and just pour blood out of them. Well, she was there and then rushed into the thing to have an operation on the same night. Did some scans, told us straight away it was a massive mass in there and it hadn't split, but it was still kind of oozing blood or something. And they would give her a splenectomy, which is remove the spleen and then kind of stop all that. So she was in overnight, they did that. Rung us up and said that it was absolutely massive and it was about, what she reckoned, the size of a basketball. Probably not round like a basketball, but you know, must have gone through most of her body. And that's what, it was just making her look fat. Not like a tumour where you got one lump sticking out. It just made her whole body look fat. And that was the problem. If something's got something sticking out, she had a tumour before and it created a lump on her stomach and you could see it and you could feel it. This one, her stomach was just getting bigger and bigger and slightly hard. So they did the operation, kept her in a couple of nights, and I went to see her and she was absolutely out of it, I suppose, the only way you could describe it. Didn't even seem to know really who I was, had no interest. But the problem is now, the vets have let us bring her home. She's not eating and she's not drinking at all. Well, we've kind of got some water into her a little bit with a syringe. We're squirting it in her mouth. But she seems to now already be developing like an aversion to that. So if I go and get the syringe, she knows what I'm doing. So I don't know what's going to happen at the minute. Bit of a nightmare. Got to try and give her painkillers as well, which is a bit of a nightmare because she seems to know exactly what you're doing. Fights it badly, which I suppose is a good thing though. If they are fighting you, that's always a good sign. If something is trying to fight you, then she has got a bit left in her. Whereas if they're just letting you do everything, they kind of, in my opinion, just give up kind of thing. But she's not really eating. She's not eating anything today. And all she ate yesterday was licked a bit of dog food and a bit of cheese off my finger, like literally just licked a little bit off. She must be very weak and tired. And most of the time she just does this, just sleeps now. Occasionally she stirs and gets up. But it's a bit of a nightmare. Don't know what's going to happen next. You can't see it, and I'm not going to disturb her, but she's got a massive, great scar all the way down her guts. They said the incision would be big. It's probably like that. Well, it'd have to be big to get that size tumour out. Had she been younger, I think you can have these splenectomies and that and just get over them alright. But she's very old. 13's fairly old for a dog anyway. So don't know, really, just thought I'd tell you this, so we get off your problem shared is a problem halved, I suppose. And I suppose if anyone sees their dog getting fatter and fatter, it don't seem right, then definitely go to the doctors, the vets. It's easily done, they hide it so well. It was only literally when she was peeing blood is when we realised. And the funny thing is, when she started peeing blood, then she became very weak. One other thing I did say to the vets, last time she had an operation, she had a small tumour and was spayed at the same time. It took her about 3 days to recover, and even then she didn't eat. She didn't drink. She might have drunk a little bit. And she didn't pee or poo either. But she's peeing quite a lot, and she's had a couple of poos, or at least one poo. So she seems like one of those dogs that takes a bit of time to recover anyway. But I just don't know what's going to happen now. Because she's literally just doing nothing at all. Not eating, drinking, not getting nothing inside her. We've been trying everything, all sorts of things. I may have to try and do like a soup type thing and just spray it into her mouth with an syringe. But you've got to be careful, because obviously you don't want her choking on stuff. I don't want to spray it down her throat and inhale it. So it's all a bit of a vicious circle. You don't want to, they ain't going to, and then you got to force them, and then if you force them, you could do something wrong. But she's definitely getting an aversion to the syringe already. They're not stupid, they're clever, they know. As soon as I walk in the room with it, she knows what's going to happen. And also we've been giving all her medicine with it as well. Been giving her medicine with it. Which is a tablet, it's crushed or opened up into water, so that obviously tastes utterly disgusting, having it like that, but it's the only way. We've tried getting them down her throat, she fights so much, I don't want, I don't want to have to literally fight her to get a tablet down there. hopefully things turn out the best. Right, anyway, thought I'd share that with you, so at least you know what's going on and why I haven't been around for a bit. This has all been going on since Tuesday, so yeah, right, anyway, cheers for watching. I hope you lot have a better time with it, and see you later.